So let's say you decide not to build an app. Let's say we're on the website side. Question then, do we have two sites or do we go with mobile first? This is actually a really, really hard decision to make. We decided at GA to go ahead with a responsive design, and on the whole it's been a good choice. I think it's definitely future-proofing you, and it's definitely the way that you need to think about mobile websites in the future. However, there are two issues. The first very simple issue is finding somebody who understands mobile-first responsive design is incredibly hard to do. There are very few experts in the field. So before you even consider creating a responsive mobile-first website, make sure that you actually have an expert who's got a portfolio and experience in building these kind of websites, because it's not an easy thing to do. And then that brings me on to the second thing, which is you're making life harder, because now when you test things, you need to test one website and make sure that it looks good on a number of different devices. And it's very easy to get that wrong. So you are adding more complexity, you're slowing your time to market, so make sure that it's worth it. The flip side is having two websites at first can be a little easier, because you just create a separate website for the 5 or 6 key use cases for a mobile device, and then you just need to keep both websites up to date. So it makes it easier to test either of the websites, but as you want to provide more and more functionality to mobile users, and as you start to have a focus on screens, not just mobile and desktop, but now you're starting to talk about tablet and TV and other form factors, you eventually have 4 or 5 or 6 different websites, and that becomes untenable. So there's no easy answer to this. If you're really focused on mobile devices, you might just want a quick, simple mobile website using jQuery Mobile. That's a really good way to get started. If you're serious about supporting multiple devices and you can find an expert, responsive design is a good way to go. Then the question is, if you are going down the other side and you want to build a mobile app, what should you do? There are 3 options to consider that are perhaps some of the most popular: the PhoneGap to Cordova, Titanium, or building the apps using the native programming languages, Objective-C and Java for iOS and Android, for example. Good rule of thumb, if you need great performance, you're going to have to go with a native application. It's more expensive, it's more time consuming, it's harder to find the experts, but if you need great performance, it's probably worth doing. If you're building an application that's going to be used perhaps on a tablet for a long period of time, you probably also want to consider about going native, because there's more chance of performance issues, things like memory leaks, which can be an issue with an application that's used over time. That's more likely to happen with Titanium or PhoneGap. It's safer to build something native because then you have more control. Outside of those use cases, if you absolutely need something to look native from day one, I would consider strongly Titanium. And if you don't, I would think seriously about PhoneGap as a quick and easy way to take the skills that your a lot of developers already have, that will allow you to build mobile web apps without having to learn a whole new programming language, and allowing you to kind of deliver the functionality much more quickly. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a tweet at Peter Bell. It's just my name, is my Twitter handle, so feel free to follow me there or to send a tweet if you have any additional questions after the fact. Otherwise, thank you very much for coming. Mandy, thank you.